Welcome to Your Best Life Now, season number 3. I am your host, Dr. Tamaey Gottusso, and welcome to another great interview series. I'm certain you're going to love all the incredible experts I've got lined up just for you. So this season is all about sharing great teachers and how they got to where they are today. And everyone loves a great story, the hero's journey, which most times leads us right into our God work, our purpose, and our passion. So I don't even know where to begin with this next gal. Her bio and her website, it's extraordinary, which I'm going to go ahead and give you a shout out right now so you can just look. It's AuroraJulianaAriel.com. And Dr. Aurora, she is not only the chairwoman, founder, and executive director of a 7-star global healing mission, but, she is a pioneer working in the psyche. She's heading up her global healing ministry and bringing out her landmark discoveries in global conferences, writing books, facilitating healings. I mean, there's so much to this superstar, and I love her, and we just met recently, and I can't wait to hear all about her story. So, Dr. Aurora, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much. I am so grateful to be here, and I'm just feeling such an immense joy because I love sharing all the positive things that are going on the planet and bringing forth amazing offerings and to humanity at this time. We're in such a beautiful time, so it's just great to be on the airwaves and bringing, working all of us together to bring our illumination into this world.
I love that. I love that so much. So, so Dr. Aurora, tell us, we see your beautiful website and your beautiful face and all your offerings, but, I really like to start the conversation about the backstory. Were you a child with gifts? Where were you born and raised? If you wouldn't mind just kind of going there for a few minutes.
Yes, it'd be better if you asked questions because, as you know, it's been a pretty comprehensive history.
Sure.
It's a very vast subject in itself, between the divine sponsorship and the calling and the awakening and the offerings now in place. So,
sure.
Yeah, I'll let you guide it.
Okay, cool. So I guess to start, where were you, born and raised, and what was your childhood like in the sense that were you an awakened child coming from the womb, or did you have an experience as a kid? And if so, did you honor that, or did you have an awakening down the road?
I had certain awareness and abilities, but it was more in my teens, starting about 13, 14, that I began a true awakening, a remembrance. I kept remembering, and then in those years, those teen years, I was having divine visitations, remembering why I'm here, and a lot of visions that were shown to me of the future potential of what's going on in this planet, which I was completely clueless about, and where humanity was heading, hurtling towards this imminent disaster, and how we had all come in to help turn the tide and bring us into a more beneficial future. So I understood that equation by, I think the time I was about 16, 17, 18, really anchoring it in and who I am in the mix in my service and where I'm from. And as that's all been, more and more awakening, of course. So, yeah, I would say early years, which put me on a very focused, dedicated path of service to advance humanity into an age of freedom, enlightenment, and peace. And my whole life has been that focus.
I mean, I'm just thinking at 16, 17, 18, I mean, all I wanted to do was go to the roller rink and check out cute boys. So I'm impressed that, it's incredible. Everybody's story is so different. I mean, that's just quite, quite a responsibility, at that age to start to remember why you're here. Really amazing.
Yes, the good news on it was that I wasn't shown my full destiny. My awareness was that I'm not from here. I've come to be a vessel of healing and light to the planet. And the one and only thing I needed to do is just follow my inner self unfailingly. So I had that as my template, and that's been my way of life. And I really didn't see all this that's in place today, and it would have been hard if I did, right? And I'd quake under the whole thing. And so it's been a really miraculous journey of following that inner self and living contrary to normal human and societal beliefs and ways of doing things, and living out of the box and defying reality and going beyond the limits and seeing myself as a limitless being who actually had to endure quite a lot and birth all this against all odds and everything opposing it, and not easy. So, as I went along, it was just more and more coming to the truth of who I am, figuring out the matrix and how to live outside of it and heal it instead of play it out, how to actualize my greater potential. So I'm always on an ascending, very rapid awakening, accelerated path, soul advancing path, and then utilizing that healing technology to constantly be my highest, most proactive self in the equation, and how to heal very quickly the human programs and belief systems and limitations and blocks and all the outer stuff that happens that is mirroring that quickly, so that I could keep actualizing a higher potential and fulfilling a higher destiny than my human programs would dictate. So finding that out and living that life, I think it's my greatest legacy to the planet, and showcasing that. And everything is in place today because of that. Nothing would be in place today had I not followed those two things of my inner divine self. That would always be my guidance system, which, if you do that, sometimes you're jumping off cliffs in faith. And most humans would not do that. And also doing the inner work to clear the way so my true authentic self could unleash her creative potential. And today I can say, finally, she has. And yet I still feel at the beginning, because now I'm ready for the people to find all of this and accelerate their lives as well.
Wow. I mean, I love these conversations, because everybody is doing and playing their part in such a unique and special way all over the globe, and everyone is called to a particular area on the planet. And you're in Maui, right?
No, I've lived a long time in Maui, and Hawaii have been a homeland. But right now I've been living in Sedona. Okay. And yes, I agree absolutely. So many of us embodied in this time to do this. And we are really, each one of us, so important to the equation, our uniqueness, our unique gifts, and yet we have to activate and actualize them amidst having taken on the human programs. So our huge Mount Everest that each of us is facing in this time is the amnesia that we went under coming in, and also this human programs with their belief systems and all the limitation that keeps playing out in our life as adversities and disasters. We're here to clean it up and heal it for a slower evolving humanity who kind of lived like this forever on this planet. And yet now's the time for the upgrade, the earth restoration, and here we are, we're millions. And so that's the key, is to awaken to who we really are and really live in that presence of our illumined self as most often as we can, even while we're doing this cleanup.
Yeah, I get it. So, I'm on your website, and I've read previously that your mother's severe mental illness really was a catalyst for you. Might you just share a bit about that?
Yeah, that and every other bad thing that has ever happened to me, and every horrible person that has ever done horrific things to me has been my catalyst. Yeah, I don't know. There's just something in me, like a white fire, that just wants to defy it all and be limitless and get to the heart of these things, and why are they playing out, and what's at the heart of suffering, and bring the remedies. So my mother became severely mentally ill when I was 19, just a beautiful spiritual woman who was in her own awakening process during that time. And that was so horrendous to go through. I just would not wish it on anybody. Just to look in your mother's eyes and she's crazy and tormented and seeing things. And so she had severe bipolar, like really severe schizophrenia, and 23 hospitalizations in my early 20s. And I was the only one in the family that wasn't freaked out and kind of brought her with me and lived near me, even while I was creating the Golden Rose Retreat, my first sacred healing temple home, and starting to have children, everything in northern Idaho. So the saga with her was she catalyzed my fire. She awakened this fire in me to find out what's at the cause of suffering. Why would someone so lovely, so beautiful, have this horrendous life sentence of suffering that went on for 36 years until she passed? Why? And so I delved deeply into the psyche, and it began my pioneering work in the psyche and matters of the soul, and what's really going on here. Why is there so much suffering? Why are good people suffering? Is it really true? We're in this is the sorrowful star where people come to be punished and God is displeased and we have all this karma and patterns, or is this something different? And I found the truth, and it was really one of my landmark findings. And then I was able to create the remedy, the cure, and to help free countless people from all manner of suffering, life sense of suffering, impossible situations that souls go through and never escape or get ruined by, including myself, saving myself, because a lot of what I went through, I would have just been wrecked and ruined, had I been the normal human and just allow myself to just fall into the weight of it all. I can't begin to describe how horrendous those years were, yet blessed in my awakening, my communion with the higher realms of light, the master teachers on those planes that were there with me, and all the remembrance and developing of sacred alchemy, developing of a way that is the inner transformation of self, how to take these baser aspects of self and transform them into the gold of our true nature. And when we do that, as the things hit, as life hits, as we start quaking under the human emotions and the adverse conditions, how to clear these things as they arise in a masterful way and immediately restore ourselves to the truth of who we are and ever ascending increments of that self and awakening ultimately to who we are, why we're here, where we came from, and what is our offering to the world. And one of the greatest offerings, of course, is doing this work on behalf of all humanity and the generations and lineages that have gone before that just have lived in the darkness. And this is the end. This is the end of the reign of darkness. This is the end of suffering on earth. And it wouldn't be true if we weren't all here bringing our remedies. But we are here. We have our remedies, and we're cleaning it all up.
How long is that process, the cleaning up process? Is it thousands of years? I mean, I know people have asked me before, yes, this is, the end of suffering, but what does that look like in real time?
To me, it looks way shorter than the normal human mind could comprehend. You have to understand physics and understand that we're in a holographic field that's highly mutable, changeable, easily changeable, that our consciousness imprints the outer reality, and our collective consciousness is what holds the world in the way it is now. And so as we see that we've been living in a world with all these archaic systems and things of detriment to people and adverse conditions, and have things like illness and pollution and all these things going on, financial disasters and earth changes, all these things in our outer reality and adversities in our physical bodies are a symptom of and an expression of our psyche, what's happening within. And in thousands of cases for all of these years and millions of sessions, I found 1,000% of the time that the ills of humanity, the suffering that we undergo, is directly coming from the psyche, our unconscious, these programs, these parts of self that I call inner aspects, and in psychological terms are called the subconscious personalities, subpersonalities. And basically, younger wounded aspects of self that encountered things and took on beliefs and started running these human programs of limitation, programs that create disease and havoc in every area of our life. And so this dilemma was keeping the world in the way it's been, really dark ages. Still, we're in the midst of that. We're emerging out of it, but still. However, with so many people transforming their lives, coming through spiritual practices into alignment with the truth of who they are and clearing the way in the psyche so that these patterns are getting healed, these aspects are getting transformed, we're in this incredible time of quickening. And it really started accelerating in 2012, like leaps of acceleration. I could tell with the people coming to me and how many aspects they'd heal at once instead of back in the day, 20 years ago, whenever it was, one at a time. People are taking massive, big pieces and clearing them in their psyche. And, of course, we have many modalities now, hypnosis, all kinds of things to assist people. And I developed TheQuest, a 7-step process that's really fast, and people can do it as their own self-counseling, self-healing. And so with this acceleration going on, we're literally changing the molecules of our physical reality and collectively of the planet. And everything's getting up-leveled because of it. New systems, new healing music, modalities, inventions, cures. And we're seeing this all over the world simultaneously. So we're in a renaissance of grace that is actually global. We're in an awakening of a mass amount of souls. Like the latest count from last year is 400 million, and growing exponentially as we catalyze each other into more and more rapid change. What that means is we're transmuting the aspects of self that have held these conditions in place, and as they transform and realign for the highest intention for ourselves and and all humanity, we're redialing ourselves and the world to ever new and more beneficent futures. And in recent years, well, since 2009, I've had visitations from the future, and I've journeyed into the future. And 2020 is very miraculous in the changes. 2023, I've been receiving visitations all year, and going into 2023 and seeing what we've accomplished by then, it's mind-blowing. And 2033, when I went there under hypnosis in 2012, because I wanted to see the truth. What is the future? What is the highest probability and the largest momentum and the outcome? I was in tears of joy to see how much what the world looks like. And more I'm understanding the technology and the advances and the cleanup that's taken place. And largely that future is in place because of the consciousness shift, which is key. And everyone living more in their authentic selves.
It's such an exciting time. It's really, even just in the last few weeks, I've just witnessed, not only personally, but from my circle of, soul circle, others, way outside of that, really popping. And there's I'm visibly seeing a big shift in people. And to your point that we're moving into this time of great awakening, and those of us who are here, as the pioneers and the way showers, it's really awesome because we've really suffered, So many of us who are on this path have really gone through just incredible suffering. So to know that now as we're moving into this next wave of enlightenment, that it wasn't for naught. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, because it's been really purposeful for us who have come to do this change. I call us the violet people because we're very into personal and planetary transformation, which is very violet ray, high vibrational, transmutative transformation ray on the spectrum. And so the violet came in to do this. And really, humanity before now, it's been pretty tragic here and very heart-rending, the histories, the things that people have endured. And now there's a lot of change. For instance, in the coming years, there's going to be big changes in the governmental systems and educational and economic. The reason being is as more people on the planet instate their authentic selves, their true divine selves on the throne of power within them, instead of having the shadow self with all its dramas all day long, crying, moping, anxious, angry, frustrated, and living in a limited reality. When more people are living in their divine nature, that's going to reflect outwardly, and the rulers of the world will no longer be shadow aspected individuals who live out of their shadow. And, through greed and avarice and lies and manipulation are self-serving and not of benefit to humanity. We're going to see that radical shift in the next years very fast. A lot of people will be replaced by more conscious individuals that really serve humanity, that understand those offices are offices of service, not about self and, pumping up self and egoic reality. So we're going to see more people rising into their full potential selves and bringing out their gifts. So more inventions, more cures, more wonderful things, more amazing films, music, arts, architecture, cleanup. Already we have a big cleanup, plant the trees, heal transform and restore buildings and clean up cities and waters and all that. We're going to see more and more of that. So it's already begun. And for those who have eyes to see it and can keep their focus, their finger on the pulse of it in the midst of the blaring news of negativity, then, that you'll be just so much happier, because that is a true reality, and it's birthing here and now on this planet.
I know you've just released a new book and have tons of things going on. Let's just take this time to share, what great work that you're bringing into the planet, and really give people, the inside scoop into your world.
I have so many amazing offerings that are very high vibrational, that have been created through my highest self. I don't create in any lesser part of me, that are jewels and cups of light and catalytic in themselves. I can just hold them and go through a change. There's healing music, there's amazing audios, there's divine healing activations and transmissions from the realms of light, and a host of books, lots of knowledge, tools, courses, programs, sacred site tours, sacred alchemist mastery trainings, and a whole virtual healing center with all kinds of modalities for myself and my graduates. So on the solstice, I'm just under that birth. It feels like I just birthed a child. It is my 8th book, and I have 2 others co-authored, but the 8th, that's mine solo, and it's called The Sacred Alchemist, Alchemical Keys to the Ascension. It is divinely transmitted keys that quicken you and align you back to who you are and help you release who you are not and remember and step into your fully actualized self. It's the material that I've been using in my Sacred Alchemist Adeptship in the New Millennium Mastery Intensives that take place in Sedona every year and at a sacred site. So, it's been Egypt and Peru, and this fall is Italy and Greece on this amazing Sacred Destiny cruise, and in Maui in February. And so very, very catalytic, even just to have by your bed as you sleep. One woman said she's going to be having it under her pillow. And people that are attuned, they can feel it. We just did a book blessing yesterday with my sacred sisters here, and everybody got it, without me really talking about it, of what it is. And then also what's really exciting for me is, every month I do these global healing forums, the second Saturday of each month. And, you can tune and get my newsletter, and you can keep abreast of these happenings. But the divine ones from the realms of light have been activating these codes within us of our divinity and helping us get free of the layers of the human programs and activate the truth of who we are and help us, heal the conditions in our lives. It's been an amazing ascension pathway, accelerated for 2 years now. And so I've taken all those activations and others that I've done and put them into a new release that came out on the spring equinox, and that is the 33 healing activation, divine healing activation CDs. And I've been giving a special for the last couple months that you can get them, the CDs, half price, the whole set, and you can get all of them in the download for 75% off. And that special is going to go through July, and then that's it. And there's links on my newsletter for that. So that's something I'm really excited about, because every one of us who are partaking of this in these forums every month, we are not the same. Every month we're not the same. When we come from that transmission, we are a higher version of ourselves, just the catalyst of these things I can't even begin to put into human words. It's beyond imagination, and really you would have to experience it in the vast acceleration and speed up of the molecules of your existence and the reset to the divine pattern of your life to be in resonance with the highest divine plan and your highest destiny and the awakening going on. So that's available with all my other products. And so that's the releases at this point, 34 this year.
Wow, that's terrific. And I know that you're offering our audience a free gift. I'd love for you to tell them a bit about that.
The sacred alchemy process I had developed was kind of internal, and I would just work with people, and then I started realizing that it would be so great to put it in a format where people could consciously go through the healing and the awakening, and so everything I'm seeing they would see, and it would be more experiential for them rather than me sitting there and just working with the divine and we're clearing all this. So I still do those clearings, the soul, remedy, healing, sacred alchemy, but I developed TheQuest. And I was inspired to develop it through my son, who we were doing a teen forum together and working with teens in youth at risk in Aspen when he was 17. And he goes, well, let's put it, please write out the 7 steps so that they can do it for themselves. And so we trained them how to do it, and a lot of them ran with it. And then my training of him went into my 1-year courses, life coach, counselor certification. We used TheQuest. So TheQuest, Heal Your Life, Change Your Destiny, is a self-healing system, and the book explaining everything about your psyche, the programs, how to clear them fast, change your life, and deal with any adversity, and keep actualizing your potential really quickly and living in your authentic self most of the time. And so that book is free to download, and you go on my website, and when you get my newsletter, when you sign up for my newsletter, then you not only get directed and it gives you the URL to download the book, but you also receive 33 days you can get any of my healing sessions half price. And that's a great time to get half price programs to keep going. If you want to do a total life transformation program or Sacred Alchemist 1 year, you can get it all at half price. So that's exciting to give you, because that's my legacy to the world. It's a cure for suffering. It shortens the time of misery. It heals all the causes of what has become these life sentences of suffering that everyone's been enduring. It changes your future every time you do it. It helps you clean up your family lineage, and the work also links up so that you're being of benefit, moving all of humanity forward. Very sacred work.
Wow. I'd love to have you back on our next season. There's so much to talk about. I'd really like to talk about Lemuria Rising and some of these other things, that you got going on. But for today, this has been amazing. I know our community has enjoyed the conversation as much as I have. So thank you, Dr. Aurora Juliana Ariel. Thank you for your beautiful gift to the planet today. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much. It's just such a joy to have a life of service like this, to be a vessel of all these wonderful offerings and blessings, divine blessings. And, you're all welcome to join the Global Healing Forum every month, to come to my Mastery Intensives, to join me. Well, there's 7 spots available, and in February, the next piece on the world tour is the Mystic Maui Sacred Adventure in the ancient lands of Lemuria, and there's going to be all kinds of things going on there. And every year there's just endless offerings. So please tune in to my, really the newsletter more than the website, because that will keep you updated. If you feel a resonance with any of this, if you want help, I'm happy to assist you. And a lot of it is a lot of self-healing and self-advancement you can do with these different books and tools, and all that's being given in the healing music and the activations and all that. So thank you. Blessings to everybody. And thank you for having me.
So I hope you've all enjoyed today's program. And until next time, be inspired.